Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Rick. Rick is from Birmingham in England, in the UK. So let's see what Rick has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Rick, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How you doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
It's no problem.
So tell me, how was your day today?
It was all right. It was quiet at first, and then someone I collaborate with messaged me something, and I then got quickly onto stuff, so it then sped up. But yeah.
Tell me, what was the highlight of your weekend just gone now?
I went to the cinema to see the new Demon Slayer movie with a friend. So yeah, that was probably
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
You kind of prefer to go to cinema very often, or just prefer to watch movies at home?
I tried to go fairly often. I uh I want to keep the cinema alive. I think it's one of those things that it would be sad if it died out.
Totally. I go every weekend. It's my therapy of the week.
Oh,
Trust me.
dude, that's
I've got,
great.
the Cineworld chain. I've
Hmm.
got this membership card since 2007. So imagine.
Yeah, I've been deliberating getting one myself because I'm just like, it will encourage me to actually get out and go and see stuff. So yeah,
Tell me where you're from, Rick.
I'm from Birmingham.
Born and raised?
Yep.
So tell me, what's the biggest joy of living in Birmingham, in your opinion?
Um, there is a lot going on in Birmingham, you know.
Mhm.
It's quite connected. It's really easy to get around on public transport and get all around the place, get into the city centre and do all kinds of things. Yeah.
I see. And what do you find most challenging about the city?
Um, probably like property prices and things because it is a popular place to live, so it can be a bit expensive.
Amazing. Rick, let's start the interview talking about your career as a writer, as a director as well. I was checking a little bit your profile. So walk me through a little bit how everything started.
So I actually only do it freelance every now and then. I don't technically have like a full-time occupation. I'm chronically sick, so I'm disabled. I don't work full-time.
Okay.
Um, but it's something that every now and then I'll get the opportunity to do something paid. Very, very rarely. But most of
Hmm.
what I do more as like a hobby, just to sort of
Hmm.
keep the craft alive. Yeah.
I see. And you always had this gift of writing and directing?
Um, no, actually, I was uh I was a bit behind in my learning when I was a child, and I
Okay.
didn't really figure out how to write at all, like even
Uh-huh.
writing my name until quite late. But then as soon as I did figure out reading and writing, I kind of hit the ground running and I was just trying to read books way above my age and coming up with my own stories and kind of completely flipped on its head and I went from being kind of like the last in the class to one of the top of the class. So, yeah.
Did you like school growing up?
Um, I mm, Not really at first. I think, particularly with my learning difficulties, it was a source of sort of frustration because
Right.
mostly I just couldn't understand what it was that other people were getting and I wasn't getting.
Uh-huh.
But then I'd probably say like secondary school onwards, I had a much better time. I had a great group of friends and I really started getting into the creative arts and that was where I kind of really took off.
It's funny sometimes, at school when you find something about yourself connect with arts or something that you can express yourself, your
Hmm.
truly self. You go like, oh my God, I like that, and that's
Yeah.
why you start enjoying things about school. Get your
Mhm.
point.
Yeah.
Amazing. Rick, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far. Okay,
Hmm.
are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of view?
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay?
Okay.
Amazing. First question is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. What do you think people they need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
Um, I think before you get into a serious relationship, you
Mm-hmm.
need to know what things you align on fundamentally. Because, you know, while I embrace people for their differences, some
Mm-hmm.
things you just don't want to be constantly kind of rubbing up against.
Right.
So, if you're like politically very oppositional or you're spiritually very oppositional, um, that can be a problem. But I
Yeah.
think probably it's more about your attitudes to the sort of things. If
Sure.
you're the kind of person who is actually quite laid back in your beliefs, then you might be okay being around someone who's got super strong beliefs because you're just sort of like, well, yeah, sure, you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe, and I don't mind. Probably
In
that.
your opinion or based on your experience, do you think in Birmingham is a place where it's easy to maintain a relationship, to meet each other? People they prefer to go online on dates, like on the apps, or do you still see people, going out to pubs or to places where they can meet other people?
Um, I think it's probably quite mixed. I think in my experience, people kind of engage in the apps a lot, but
Hmm.
then often they end up dating people that they knew through social groups and stuff anyway.
Hmm.
Um, but it's kind of a mix. I know some people who met people through apps and they're going strong, they're married, they've got kids, and then other people who they've done apps several times and it just happens to be like a friend of a friend who they've ended up with. So I think it's kind of a mixture.
Are you in a relationship right now or you're single?
I'm in a relationship. Yeah.
So tell me, how did you path cross with your partner?
Work. He was a new hire at a coffee house I worked at,
Right.
and everywhere, all the girls were abuzz about this new guy starting, and he turned up, and I was like, him? Why does everyone like make such a big deal about? And then it was someone's leaving do. It was the first time I spoke to him, and we just immediately clicked, and we were into all the same things, and we were just standing
Oh,
talking to just each other for ages.
oh wow, that's sweet. And
Yeah.
from his side, did he ever told you how he got his eyes on you?
Yes, I know exactly how it was. He stood there and he said, "Does anyone here listen to metal?" And I said, "I do." And then he said, "Have you ever heard of a TV show called the Metalocalypse?" And I said, "Yes." And he then just went, "I'm talking to you." Because he was so used to like bringing up his favorite show and his favorite band, and people
Oh,
just like not having any idea what it was he was talking about. So he was super surprised that, let alone that anyone, knew what it was, but it was someone that he also, I guess, was attracted to.
oh, sweet. And who fell in love first, do you think, between both of you?
I think he definitely fell in love first. I think he's a bit more soppy than I am. I can be a bit more reserved, but
Okay.
uh, I'm the one who made the first move because he's a bit shy, and I was a bit more forward, like, what are we doing?
Oh, sweet. Okay, so he's watching this interview right now and have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message. What would you say?
Uh, but probably talk about the fact that the dinner's in the oven, so we can like go and eat it whenever he wants.
Oh dear, I love it. Next question. Hey, Rick from Birmingham. Next question is, what is a significant event that has changed you?
Hmm. A significant event that has changed me. Um, I would say, oh, there's so many to pick from. You kind of have to like really just like needle down which one it is.
I know.
I think the moment that my path kind of diverted from what I thought it would be. which was when I
Mm-hmm.
was growing up, because I did struggle with like learning to read and write things like that. I always thought I'd do something more physical, and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be a dancer.
Oh wow.
And then I was in a drama class, and um I was asked to like stand up and do perform a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And when I sort of realized that I could kind of click in to the character and then kind of build this whole story and everything, and then see the response of the people watching me,
Wow.
something clicked inside of me that was like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to make stories. So probably that.
Oh wow. And why is that? Why do you think that moment somehow, shake you off a little bit?
Um, I am the kind of person who enjoys being good at things. So that was definitely an element of it, feeling like, oh, I'm good at this. And I'm getting people looking at me and thinking good things rather than thinking like all the things that are wrong,
Right.
which is what I was used to. um, but also I realized that like um that it was a skill that I had. I didn't know this at the time, but I'm like I've
Mm-hmm.
in later in life realized that I'm autistic. Um, all the time I'd spent sort of trying to figure people out had made my brain really good at coming up with backstories and characters and motivations because I'd spend so long trying to figure this out that then I just remember thinking, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing, like
Wow.
doing a patchwork of lives, basically.
And did you find the support of your family at the time regarding that?
Um, Not like active support. There was no like no nobody like disapproved or anything. But
Right.
I'm like one of six kids, and so
Six.
there was yeah, there was like there was my mum was just happy that I was out doing things really.
You are the youngest, the oldest, in the middle.
Middle. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Big family. Wow.
Yeah.
Next question. Okay, so before the next question, as you already start talking about, your gift as a writer, so tell me, what do you like the most about it? What's the inspiration for you to write?
Um, Probably finding the thread. So someone might come to me with an idea, or I might have an idea, and it's just a basic idea. And then you
Mm-hmm.
start to fill in, or where's the story going to go and what the characters are going to be. And somewhere along the way, when you're doing it, a kind of a thread appears, and you just think, well, they'll do this because of this. And that, which is why that's going to happen because that all makes sense. And like when that starts to happen, it's like just all the synapses firing and everything coming together into this
Wow.
thing that makes sense. I think that's probably it.
And for you, do you have some time of the day or that you feel more inspired by, or it can come naturally, depends?
Um, I like to work probably afternoon to evening,
Mm-hmm.
more than anything. But a lot of the time it can just be I like working collaboratively, so I love it when someone comes to me and they've got the most basic idea and
Uh-huh.
they'll just tell me that and my brain will just start going. So that's probably when I'm most creative is when someone's come along and handed me the little spark and then I will just run with it.
Okay. Okay. Next question is, what would be the title of your memoir? Good one.
Uh um Everything happens, which is a play on when people say, "Oh, everything happens for a reason."
Uh-huh.
I'm the kind of person who thinks that I don't need to seek out like a grand reason to anything. Like I
Right.
think it's more about accepting that things happen. They just do, and it doesn't have to be part of some grand design, and it doesn't have to be like good, or it doesn't have to be bad. It just is. And so whenever anyone says, "Oh, everything happens for a reason," I always respond with, "No, well, everything happens." So probably that.
I like that actually. I never thought about that because I truly believe that, I think everyone says everything happens for a reason, which, I think we got that, but everything happens. That's
Mm.
amazing the way you think.
Yeah.
What's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Rick?
What do I like the most about being me? Um, I don't know how to say this without it sounding arrogant, but
No?
I guess my intellect, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I feel I can feel pretty confident in myself to be able to figure something out, even if I'm not an expert. I've got that baseline of, no, I can probably work this out. Yeah.
To be honest, talking to you makes sense. You come across a very confident person. Since we started talking, I was like, oh,
Thank you.
and what's something about yourself that you know that you need to work on, you need to improve on? You already know it, but you still work on it.
Uh, Strangely enough, I'd probably say again, like my intellect, like my thinking, is I can overthink things and I can find it like hard to not run through every scenario and every uh bad thing that might happen, um, rather than just sort of letting things
Relax.
be. Yeah, yeah.
And when you find yourself in this trapped in your mind, overthinking, analyzing, get things together, there is a way for you to somehow, okay, let me do something to disconnect from this world. That's something that you do it, or it just happen naturally?
I think I find it easier if I sort of speak things out loud. And so it kind of gets it out, and I can get to the end of it, and kind of almost like hearing yourself. You can kind of stop yourself and think, all right, you're sounding like a bit of a nose now. Just calm down and let it be. So some of my friends are saints with their patience because I will fret about things in their lives that perhaps they might just be like happy to go with the flow, and I'll get it all out at them, and then I'll like take a break afterwards and go, sorry, that was a bit much, wasn't it? But yeah.
Let's see. Cool. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, next question is, I think this one gonna be easy for you to answer because I think you already answered. But let's see. What makes you a unique person?
Oh God. Um, Probably all the same things that makes me just like everybody else, really.
Uh-huh.
Like, um, I'm I'm full of nuances and drives and um or ego. We're all just little ego machines doing doing the most at all times. And I don't know, I don't think there's any one thing in particular really that makes me unique. I think by default I have to be unique, but in the same way, it's what makes me just the same as everybody else, really.
And if I would ask your partner to say something about Rick that for you is a unique thing
Mm.
about her, what do you think he would tell me?
I go by they them first of all.
Again?
I
Oh,
go
sorry.
by they them. That's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
I understand what I look like, so I'm
I
not
know.
taking offensive.
I'm glad you love, I'm glad you told me. So,
No,
okay.
no, no problem. What would he say was unique about me? Uh, Maybe my sense of style, because I like veer wildly between liking kind of like the dark aesthetic, but then at the same time really loving to be really bright and colorful. And they're two things that don't quite go together, but like I don't know anyone else in my life who dresses much like me.
Wow.
I'm dressed quite plain today, but yeah, usually I'm very out there and loud, so.
Wow. And always being this way of expressing yourself in a different way, let's say, with compare with other people.
Um, uh, no, not really. I've kind of embraced it more in the last few years.
Mm.
Actually kind of going back to the whole like the gender identity thing. For a while I was trying really hard to perform more subdued, a look because like being, flamboyant at all is very it's seen as much more of like a feminine trait, and I felt like people would use that against me to tell me that like, oh, you're just a girl, aren't you? You're obviously just a girl. And
Uh-huh.
so I would like butch it up. Um,
Right.
but then I realized that like, you know, I'm just cutting off all my access to having all this color and interest and intrigue in what I wear and what I do. So I'm like, forget it. Just gonna do whatever.
I love the color of your hair, by the way. I love the color. It matches your, I don't know, it matches you.
Thank you. It changes constantly. I change it all the time. But thank you.
As you touched now about, about gender. So you consider yourself as a non-binary person? Or,
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I had been born biologically male,
Mhm.
I would just be sort of seen as a camp gay
Okay.
man, and I would probably be quite comfortable just being there. I'd probably be a drag queen. Um, but because I'm born female, I think it's hard to explain how I feel more male but look more female in some ways. But it's such a strange thing to explain socially.
Right.
Um, But nowadays, I think I realize that I kind of fit somewhere in between. I'm not really one of the boys and I'm not really one of the girls. I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
somewhere in between, and that's okay. Yeah.
And it's amazing to be in this place for sure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Knowing the person you are, as you just described now. I think when you find yourself in a place where you can identify yourself as you are,
Hmm.
doesn't matter title, whatever people say or they think. As I when I direct to you, I said she. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's you know who you are. You know, I
Yeah.
think that's what matters. And it's interesting because I had an interview a while ago with a lovely man, actually, and there were a couple, but they did we had the interviews different days, and he's both considered himself as a bisexual, yeah,
Hmm.
and once he said something interesting that I heard, not in an interview, but I was watching on his videos. He said that his girlfriend, he sees her as a gay man in a woman body.
Mm.
The way she expressed herself, the way she, and I found very interesting to hear that because as you said, sometimes society or the world we live, you know, put us in some categories or whatever, we are there.
Yeah.
However, when you know yourself, when you express the way you are, knowing, and of course, you need to, people, they need to address you the way you think the right for you. However, when you know who you are, I think that's the main thing that, as you said, you know, being, you were born a girl, however, you have this male. So it's so something about you. And I think
Yeah.
that matters for sure in the end of the
Yeah.
day.
And I think also we have to remember that like this is all just snapshots in a hu vast human history.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it was only a couple hundred years ago where it was the men who were wearing the wigs and the powder, and it was only like middle of last century that pink was for boys and blue was for girls. And
Yeah.
so it's like that thing that you feel inside of you, like your gender, is separate to the expression. It totally doesn't
100%.
matter at all. Like
100%.
it's something very hard. It's very intangible. It's very difficult to put into words, but you just kind of just you just know.
Totally. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Get your point for sure.
Yeah.
Next question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Hey, next question is, what is the best first date have you ever been on?
Best first date I've ever been on. A lot of the times when I've gotten into relationships, I haven't really done the whole going on a date thing, not properly. It's more sort of I've met someone and we've hung out more as friends at first, and then it was like the spark's there, so we pursue it. Um, so
Let me put the question different way then. So could be a date, could be a moment or a situation that you had with maybe with your partner right now, or maybe, in the past that for you, you were like, you know what? I remember this moment. I
Yeah.
always remember this moment.
Yeah, so the first time that my partner and I hung out, like we chose to take ourselves away from the sort of work environment and just see each other. It was I had him over so that we could play video games together on my old PlayStation 2, and we played Tekken Tag Tournament, and um I was the first person who'd ever beaten him at that game, and we played it until he was able to beat me, and it was just this sort of great like uh camaraderie, like spark between us. So
Huh?
but probably that, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Did he have won any time or no? You always win. You always won it when you're playing.
At first, I always won, but he's the kind of person who he will then meticulously make sure that he can then beat you.
Or-
So yeah, he eventually started beating me. So yeah,
But the first one was you. That's what counts.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm what made him good.
Amazing. Three questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, when I was checking your profile, it says there, bouncy ball collector. Yeah. Fun enough, I when I was checking your profile a little bit, I could see, a little, and I can see behind you as well some kind of. And but actually, I Google it. I said, let me Google it just to make sure that I know what it's about. So tell me a little bit about your collection.
Okay, so there's usually a bouncy ball within reach, and I did not plan for this, but there is a bouncy ball in reach. It's on my bedside. I don't know why you need a bouncy ball by the bed, but I have one. It all started when a friend and I used to walk home from school, and on our route home there was a bouncy ball machine. So a machine you'd put 20p into, you turn it and you get a random ball.
Yeah.
And she generously, because I never had any money to do it, she would always buy us one each a day.
Uh-huh.
And it was something about like the randomness of it and the chance of like seeing something in there that looked pretty and looked cool and you wanted to get that like it drew us back to doing it. And then also like I don't know why, but I just enjoy the feel of them. I just find it comforting to have them round. And then when people have figured this out about me, they then have bought me them, and so now I have literally hundreds of them. And I have my favorite ones on display in what is like it's like a golf ball display case, but
Wow.
I put bouncy balls on it instead. But yeah, it's just a weird little thing that I just brings me joy. Yeah.
Tell me the very first one that somebody gave to you and the latest one, a bouncy ball.
So I can't remember the first one that someone gave to me. Because it would have been back in secondary school.
Oh, it's been a
One of the
while.
earliest ones I can remember is that uh there was a period of time when my friend and I we were really curious about well she was really curious about exploring Christianity, and she asked me to go along with her, and we went to a bunch of different churches in the local area, and we went into one of them and they had a Jesus Loves You bouncy ball, and it was the
Uh-huh.
first time we'd seen anything like that, and so she bought that for me.
Right.
And then the last one, my friend got me a set of Galaxy ones from the internet. So it was a whole
Okay.
set of like you got like Venus and Saturn, and yeah, they're quite cool.
And in your birthdays or like Christmas celebration, there's always someone who gives one or not. Like people think, okay, I know, they might have everything now.
It nowadays, yeah, because again, it was one of those things I put away for a long time, and I just had a box of them, and I was just sort of like, oh, it's just this weird thing I've got. And then in the last few years, I was like, no, I'm gonna get them out again, and I'm gonna show people, and I'm gonna be proud of this. So the
Right.
last few like occasions, people have bought me some, yeah, and hopefully they'll keep doing it because there's always there's always new kinds to get. So
Amazing. Next question is, do you think your priorities have changed since you were younger?
um, yes, I think when I was younger, it was more about baseline survival. It was
Hmm.
more about get through the next thing, whether it be, get through the school day or get through this like assignment, or get through the hard times at home or whatever. And that carried on for a long time. I think I was much more sort of emotionally unavailable in a way. And now I think I I think I crave connection really more than anything. It's more about you know, uh it's not just about survival, it's about actually being a part of the world. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And saying that, what's the meaning of life for you?
I don't think it has a meaning, and I don't think it needs a meaning. Yeah.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I think again it's back to that whole sort of everything happens. It's like it's okay for it not to have a meaning. Some people think that I say that and it's like depressing, and I'm like, no, it's just like radical acceptance, you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
great. Like that. Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it. Hey, what's the best advice have you ever given to someone?
Best advice I've ever given to someone. I think I'm the kind of person who probably gives out way too much advice. Um, but probably probably telling someone that they're worth more than they think they are, and to think of the situation that they're in and how they would feel if it was happening to me or to someone else they loved, and asking them if they think that was acceptable is
Wow.
probably, because I think we get into these loops of treating ourselves worse or allowing other people to treat us worse than we'd ever let someone treat someone we love. Um,
That's so true. I
yeah.
get it. For sure. I think when you find yourself in a place where you're worth it, just being you, I think it's powerful. It's
Yeah.
free. It's free. It's
Yeah.
like free from your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Before the last question, I'm gonna ask two questions. One question, two parts. So the first part of the question is, when people when you write, you're writing you books or something about, when you put on paper, writing anything, when people read it, what's something that you always wanted people to take with them? Yeah.
Mm.
And the second part of the question is, what do you find most challenging about it, writing, being a writer?
So I guess I want what I write to emotionally resonate with people. Um, but I want it to do it in an entertaining way,
Okay.
because I think some stuff that you watch, because I'm primarily I write short films. Um, they're so emotionally powerful and they've got so much to say, but they're very difficult to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I like to try to like put a genuine human story in a more fantastical setting.
Okay.
So I kind of like lull the watcher into being like, oh, this is a horror film, I know what this is about, or this is a sci-fi, I know what this is about. And then they come away from it at the end and they've taken actually the story of whatever characters they're watching,
Right.
which will be something simple like, loss or love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what's the most challenging part for you to write, in your opinion?
The most challenging thing, uh, it's probably just actually getting it done. Um, Sometimes you can have so many ideas and uh you can kind of become a little bit like blocked, and you just think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'll put that aside until I can figure that out. And then you end up with a whole different, like a whole host of things that you've got the bare bones of that you've then never gone back to.
Uh-huh.
So probably that. But then when it comes to doing filmmaking in general, it's the budget. it's finding a way to to fund what you're doing. Because particularly in the area that I'm in at the moment in Birmingham, we've had
Right.
a real hard time with getting the creative industries back online, media industries. There's been people who've said that they're going to move stuff here again, like Stephen Knight and Joe Lycett, and then I'm standing in a mixer of all these people who work in media stuff, and none of us were hired to work on any of the stuff, and then everyone's going around trying to find someone who's got that funding. There
Right.
are a couple people out there trying to like bring on some initiatives, but that is the hard thing, is getting your foot in the door. Because once you're in, then you know people and you can get stuff going. But when you're out, it's very hard, you know.
It sorry, that was my next question to you. If you know,
Okay.
in Birmingham, if you would find how is the business there, like if it's easy to to be a filmmaker, director, to to write as well, and you just answer before. So in your opinion, do you think that if people would like to get more into the business, they need to spend some more time in London or in other places, or do you think that's growing slowly in Birmingham?
What I think we need is, I think Birmingham would really do well if those who are already in actually do open up to us, because there are so many creative, talented people. And a lot of people are they're leaving, or they're commuting down to London, or they're commuting to Bristol, or they're commuting to Manchester, and they're not taking, understandably, not taking the like unpaid work here because we're all, you know, doing stuff on zero budget. And I think it would be nice if, again, like Stephen Knight and Joe Lycett actually did properly open the doors to the people
Mhm.
who are literally standing in a building across the road from where they're doing their stuff. You know,
Wow,
came into those mixes and things, and met people, and gave us the hand in that we
yes,
need, really.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, the message out there. Next question is that a dream you always had?
A dream, like an aspiration.
No, yeah, is that any dream that you always had, like growing up, or is that a dream that you
Oh, is
always had?
that a dream?
Is that a
Um,
dream? Sorry, my Brazilian accent.
no, no, no. I sorry. If my literal mind, I didn't know if you meant like a dream you have at night, like in your sleep, or you meant like a dream, like a goal, an
I know the
aspiration. Yeah, yeah.
right.
Um, uh, my whole life? No, I don't think I've had a singular one my whole life. I mean, when I was really young, I wanted to be a clown, which I suppose maybe that'll do, because my mom has literally just made me a like a clown suit. So maybe that's my aspiration for my whole life, was to fully realize myself as a clown.
Last question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's one. But before the last question, tell me three names of three artists that you always been inspired by, in the filmmaker business.
In the filmmaker business, what Jordan Peele has been doing the last few years, because he used to be known primarily as like a comedy writer, and
Mm.
then probably about 10 years ago now, he started writing thriller horror films.
Right.
Has been amazing. Like, genuinely, he's one of the best writers out there. He creates such realistic characters and dialogues and world, with, like, again, super unrealistic things happening, and he just does it so well. And if I could write like him, I'd be sailing. Um, uh, Edgar Wright, I love the way he directs. He is just all so slick. It like he'll be like doing big swings with his editing, because most of the time, like in films and things nowadays, it will just be cut, 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 cut. But he
Right.
will, he'll do like swipes and fades and like dissolves and things, and but he does it in such a way that it just feels like you're moving with the movement of the film. It's really, really clever. And then, hmm, it seems a little played out to say, but I think again, as a writer, especially a writer with like learning difficulties,
Uh-huh.
Tarantino is
Wow.
fantastic. The way he just his dialogue is second to none. Because again, he'll have his characters say stuff that like it actually feel no one talks like that really. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it feels exactly how you would have a conversation, and it's like, how is he managing to do that? It's just it's it's very it's very cool
Right.
is the best way of putting it.
Okay, so one day you're gonna wake up in the morning having three missed calls on your phone from those three you just mentioned right now. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, you just ignore them for now. Oops.
Hmm. Um, the first one I'd probably call back would be Edgar Wright because he's
Wow.
British, so it's probably more likely that like I'd be able to organize a time to get together with him.
Right.
Um, then I'd message Jordan Peele, because I'd also be a little bit embarrassed, like, oh, he's not quite as nerdy as the other two. So like, well, he doesn't come off as quite as nerdy to me, so I want to be more like, hey, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to start the conversation again. And then I guess I ignore Tarantino because he's wrapping up his career now. He wants to do one more film and then he's done.
Love it. Last question is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Most difficult thing I've ever done. Hmm. How dark am I allowed to be?
Uh, just be your true self.
Really? Making the decision that I'm going to choose to remain alive.
Wow.
I have dealt with suicidal ideation since I was a child, like a child. I think it was about, God, maybe 8 or 9 the first time I remember thinking I would like
Wow.
to die. Um, and it has been a recurring thing throughout my life where there's been a few times where things got so bad that I would act on it. But it was always sort of like I'll get round to that at some point, even when I wasn't acting on it.
Hmm.
And then uh, about 12 years ago, a friend of mine died. And she was the kind of person who uh, she loved life and she had so many things that she wanted to do. And I think for the next few years after that, every time her, like, the anniversary of her death would come round, I'd feel really guilty that, like, she was gone and I wasn't. And eventually, it kind of started to sink into me that, like, no, I'm going to choose to just get on with what I'm getting on with.
Wow.
And sure, the thoughts are still there and the desire is still there and that will never go away. And I accept that. It goes back to that sort of like, I'm not going to put that as good or bad or fight against it. It's just a thing that exists in me and that's okay. And it's also okay to just carry on, to just get on with life. Because,
Wow.
if I could end it and then there'd be nothing, or I can not end it and I can see a film that is great that I've never seen before, and I can meet someone and have a whole new friendship and it's great. And then there'll be times when things are really bad, but then there'll be times that are like, you know, boring, but then there'll be something that I would just have not been able to do if I just hadn't been there to do it.
Oh my God, thanks so much for sharing that, Rick. I think it's very powerful, and be able to say something like that. And I think you never know who's watching this interview right now. And sometimes, people, sometimes they are in a place where they don't find a way out. Sometimes they think they're alone. Sometimes they think they're the only people who have things this way. And
Yeah.
seeing someone talking so open about it, I think it's powerful. So thanks for sharing that,
No,
personal event in your life. And I think it's good to talk and help others as well. Thank you.
yeah,
Amazing.
thank you.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to say
Okay,
one word and just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's
okay.
start with money.
Missing.
Family.
Big.
Life.
Uh, did you say life?
Yeah.
Okay. Happening.
Fear.
Uh, oh. Control.
Love.
Necessary.
Religion.
Oppressive. Sorry.
Okay. Friendship.
Um, uh, necessary as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sex.
6.
Yeah.
Fun.
Regret.
Inevitable.
Desire.
Inevitable.
Wish.
Um. Oh. Uh, uh. My brain said foundation because of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
All right. Happy days.
Happy days. The Fonz.
One word for one word for Birmingham.
Um. Busy.
One word for England.
Divided.
One word for bouncy ball collector.
Eccentric.
And the last one now, writer. One word.
Um. Thinker.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend. Define Rick in one positive and one negative word only. What your best friend would say about you.
They'd probably say one word. Clever, and then negative. Um. Like on a better word. I want to say judgmental, but like not judgmental in the like classic sense, but in the sense of like I'm like assessing a lot.
If I would ask the same question to your partner, it would be the same answer.
I think he'd probably say loving
Okay.
and the negative thing probably would say sick. Yeah.
Okay. Let's play now, Rick and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Rick, you can ask me a question now.
Okay. First of all, are you familiar with Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, the yellow,
The yellow bear. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what. Funny enough, I had one for years, and
Oh, did you?
I gave to my godson for him, like he's 5 year old. I gave for him in Canada. He had still have in Canada. Anyway,
Oh,
yes, I'm familiar with the character. Yes.
yeah. I was going to ask which of the cast of characters in Winnie the Pooh do you think you're most like?
So I'm I'm not gonna be able to answer because I know the character, but I don't know the story behind.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Now
Do you want to come up with
I'm curious now to find out now. I'm very curious to find out now.
yeah, because all the characters in it, they're all very like distinctly like, one's a warrior and one's super excitable and one's very sad.
Okay.
So that's why I thought maybe.
Actually, if you tell me their characteristics, I can pick one. Let's put the question this way. Would you like to?
Okay. So Pooh is he is he's quite he's very laid back. Pooh is incredibly laid back.
Right.
Um then there's Tigger, who is very, very, very excitable.
Yeah.
Piglet, who is very nervous and anxious.
Uh-huh.
Owl, who is quite arrogant.
Okay.
Rabbit, who is a bit of a control freak. And then there's Eeyore, who is very sad.
Okay, you know what? When you start describing, I could see the tiger one, that because now you said there's a donkey as well. There's a donkey as well.
Yeah, Eeyore's the donkey. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I remember now. You start describing. You see, I start describing. I kind of start picturing. Okay, straight away I can tell you it's the second one, the excited one. Like, I'm Scorpio. I'm very intense. My personality, I'm very intense, always been. So sometimes, you can see me everywhere. Sometimes when I'm doing the interview, I don't know if you realize I can speak very fast as well. And sometimes I watch myself to be still. Yeah, sometimes I watch myself to be still and to be more like, speak slowly because I'm very intense. I'm very energetic. So for sure. And now I'm talking about him. I can see him like the character as well everywhere.
Yeah.
100% him, because I can picture myself like all over the place at the same time, for sure.
Yeah. I thought you would say Tigger based on the videos, but I thought maybe sometimes people reveal something about themselves that you didn't expect that they would say. Like, oh, I wouldn't thought you were going to say that, but yeah.
You go, yeah, it's visible and if you watch my very first interviews, Rick, I cannot watch my very first interviews because if you see me energetic, my first interviews are like, and I didn't let my guest talk. I was talking over them. So imagine, it was like, anyway, still learning. But for sure, I would picture myself as this character because it's my personality. I think the older you get, you work on it to slow down a little bit, but still there. And sometimes because I get very excited, like doing the interview, and I forget that I'm recording, so I just, it is the real William that people can have. So yeah, I'll pick this one for sure. Great question. And actually I had here over 1,500 interviews and nobody asked me this question. Wow. That's
okay, good.
Amazing. You enjoyed the interview?
Yes, it's been good.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so kind and accepting my invitation. Thanks for being so sweet as well and being so open. And I think it's amazing for you to, to be here and, just talk about life overall. You know what I mean? I love your point of views as well, the way you face it. And I think that's about express yourself the way you are. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, absolutely. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Life is going to continue and it's going to surprise you. Like, until a few days ago, I had no idea that your channel existed, and I had no idea that you would reach out and ask me to do an interview, and here I am doing an interview, and it's been a nice experience. So just, let life surprise you sometimes.
I got goosebumps now saying that. Literally goosebumps. You just made memories. That's what I believe. The power of saying yes can take you in a direction that you're not expecting. And it's just about making memories. That's what I believe as well. Thanks again. Thanks for the interview, and keep in touch. And see you one day in Birmingham. It's not far from London. One day I'll be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've been once there, actually, a long time ago. I've been in Birmingham once with a friend of mine. And I'll be back there for sure. Okay? Have a good night.
Take care.
You.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.